You may have heard of them in passing, maybe seen some other players swing them around during a boss fight, unaware of their rarity. I am of course talking about the legendary weapons in World of Warcraft, sought after and grieved over through 10 expansions. Though the older legendaries through Classic to Shadowlands are no longer viable options to equip, they are all unique appearances and thus very valuable to Transmog collectors. In this two-part video, I will go through each of these weapons and guide you to obtain them. This second part tackles Cataclysm through to current day Dragonflight. Cataclysm was the last expansion in a while to feature legendary weapons which can still be obtained and transmogged today. Both weapons are quite tedious to obtain. The staff, Dragonwrath, Tarecgosa's Rest, is obtainable for mages, druids, priests, shamans, warlocks and evokers. And the dual blades, Fangs of the Father, are only unlockable and obtainable for rogues. Dragonwrath is perhaps best known as the mage staff that summons a spectral blue dragon in Stormwind or Orgrimmar. The staff is made from a branch of the world tree Nasz'uro, infused with the spirit of the blue dragon Tarecgosa. To obtain it for yourself, you must complete a bit of questing and a few weeks of grinding, though none of it should prove too difficult. To begin the questline, bring a druid, mage, priest, shaman or warlock to the Firelands and take down a Morton Lord. Doing so will automatically give you the quest Your Time Has Come. I'm unsure whether bringing an evoker to the raid will also give you the quest. According to Wowhead, you can also complete one of the 3 achievements, Blackwing Descent, the Bastion of Twilight, or Throne of the Four Winds, and then talk to Corridormi or Ceridormi to begin the quest A Legendary Engagement, which will send you on the path towards unlocking the legendary. Once you complete the quest, A Legendary Engagement, you are sent to the Caverns of Time to speak to Anachronos, who will give you the quest A Wrinkle in Time. Watch a little cutscene before we finally get a bit of action with the quest All-Seeing Eye. To complete this quest, you must collect 25 Eternal Embers, which drop from bosses in the Firelands raid, and 3 Sands of Time, which you purchase from Yasmin in Uldum at the coordinates 26.6, 7.2. Bring the reagents back to Anachronos, who will ask you to seek out Tarecgosa. Following this, the quest Through a Glass Darkly requires you to complete the Nexus dungeon through a scenario and observe a vision after defeating Thurinar, all of which is quite easy at max level. Upon completion, pick up Questionable Intelligence and find Caligos in Mount Hyjal. He will send you out on the difficult part of the questline with delegation. For this quest, your goal is to recover the branch of Nordrossil, which drops from a mob called Volcanus. To find Volcanus, however, you must obtain 4 different charged focus from within the Firelands raid. Similarly to the Shadowmourne questline, each step here requires you to keep bosses alive and use their mechanics to obtain the items. If you want to do them all in one go, be sure to bring a friend along, because obtaining one of the charged focus requires an ally to be around, to stand in a mechanic. Alright, let's get into how to get these 4 charged focus. A charged Rhyolite focus is obtained during the Lord Rhy'alath fight. Engage a boss and do not kill him. Pick up Rhyolite fragments as they appear on the ground. Once you have 3 of them, you can combine them into a dull Rhyolite focus. Now get ready to throw this item in front of the boss when he uses his concussive stomp ability. If done correctly, the explosion on the item should turn it into a charged Rhyolite focus. After picking it up, you can kill the boss. You obtain the charged Chitinous focus from your fight with Betilak. Like the former boss, engage her but do not kill her. During the fight, she will summon Cinderweb drones, which upon death will spawn blue obsidian flecked chitin fragments below. Collect 3 of these, merge them to create a dull chitinous focus, and climb to the top of the web. Wait here until the boss casts the spell Smoldering Devastation. Once she does, throw the focus in front of the boss. If done correctly, the item will turn into a charged chitinous focus. Pick that up and take out the boss. Third is the charged Pyre Shell focus from the Alizraza boss fight. As before, engage boss and do not kill. Do not kill the eggs that spawn either. Wait for them to hatch and Pyre Shell fragments should appear on the ground. Pick 3 of those up and combine them into a dull Pyre Shell focus. To charge this one, the boss must get to 90% energy. Once it does, throw the focus on the ground, and when the boss shortly after reaches 100% energy, it will cast full power, which charges the focus. Pick up the now charged Pyre Shell focus and kill the boss. For the final focus, you need a friend to come along to step into a trap on the ground. The fight is with Shanox for the charged Emberstone focus. Like with the others, engage the boss and then leave him alone. Have your friend step into a trap on the ground and then free them. Doing so will leave an Emberstone fragment on the ground. Do this 3 times and merge 3 fragments into a dull Emberstone focus. With the focus, wait for the boss to cast Hurl Spear and quickly throw the focus into the path of the spear. This can be a little tricky, so you might have to ask your friend nicely to get trapped several times. Once you succeed with the spear, pick up the charged Emberstone focus and kill the boss. Once you have all 4 focuses on hand, you have to go to the Circle of Thorns at the coordinates 27.3, 23.4 in the raid and use the focuses to open a portal. On the other side, you find Volcanus. Upon his defeat, you will loot the branch of Nordrissel. Congratulations, the rest of the quest line will be easy. Return to Caligos for the quest Nordrissel's Bow, after which you get the quests Emergency Extraction and At One, which brings you to Fremara with Caligos to witness the scenario there. Bind the essence of Tarecgosa to your branch of Nordrissel, after which you get the quest Time Grows Short. And this is where you must farm a bit for a couple of weeks. The quest asks you to obtain 1,000 seething cinders, which drop from bosses in the Firelands raid on normal and heroic difficulty. You can of course run each difficulty once per week. According to Wowhead, on normal difficulty, each boss drops 20 cinders on average, and on heroic, the bosses drop 60 cinders on average. Once you have collected 1,000, return to Caligos for the quest Alignment and Heart of Flame. Heart of Flame is the final farming quest where you, once again, you guessed it, must return to the Firelands raid. Equip your new staff, Rune's Staff of Nordrissel, and take down the bosses in the raid. Every time you defeat a boss, you must use your staff's unique ability on them to drain their essence. In doing so, you collect Smoldering Essences, of which you need 250. This may require several Firelands runs. Once you have 250, you take down Ragnaros a final time and collect the item Heart of Flame, which is lying on the ground somewhere close to his corpse. Do not leave the raid without it. Bring all the items to Tarecgosa in Orgrimmar or Stormwind depending on your faction. And then you're done. Completing the quest will give you the legendary staff Dragonwrath Tarecgosa's Rest, and you will get to witness the spectral images of blue dragons in the sky around you. In current retail, obtaining the legendary will also unlock the special Dragonflight quest Rhapsody in Blue, which you pick up from Caligos. Completing this quest will reward you with the Mount Tarecgosa's Visage. Fangs of the Father are the sought-after, rogue-only legendary daggers. Separately, they are Golad, Twilight of the Aspects in your main hand, and Tyriosh, Nightmare of Ages in your offhand. Obtaining these weapons requires you to complete a relatively simple quest line with only a little bit of grinding. To begin, bring your rogue character to the Dragon Soul raid and speak to Lord Devrazras, who offers you the quest proving your worth. This first task is pretty straightforward and requires you to use your pickpocketing ability to steal a Cryptomancer's decoder ring from Hagara the Stormbinder. Once you have the ring, you proceed with the quest A Hidden Message, wherein you visit the Ethereals in either Orgrimmar or Stormwind, who can help you charge the ring. They do so for a small fee of 10,000 gold or a wait time of 12 hours. During these 12 hours, you do not need to be logged in. Once the ring is charged, travel to the Twilight Highlands to meet up with Korastraza, who will give you a singed cipher. Use the ring on the cipher to complete the quest. Next up is 5 relatively straightforward quests: to Ravenhold, to catch a thief, our man in Gilneas, assassinate Creed, and the deed is done. Upon completing the deed is done, Wrathion will give you 2 epic daggers, Fear and Vengeance. The purpose of these 2 daggers is to upgrade them throughout the questline for them to become Golad and Tiriosh, the legendary daggers. Cluster Clutch is one of 2 farming quests you have to do to get the legendary. The quest asks you to obtain 333 shadowy gems, which are contained in the Elementium gem clusters, which drop from bosses in the Dragon Soul raid. You can do the raid in both 10 and 25 man mode, with the bosses dropping 1 cluster in normal and up to 3 clusters in heroic. According to Wowhead, since each cluster drops between 3 and 9 shadowy gems, you will go through the 25 man version of Dragon Soul approximately 3.5 times to complete the quest, meaning it'll take you 3 or 4 weeks to complete. Following Cluster Clutch is another couple of easy quests: Our Man in Karazhan, Blood of the Betrayer, and Victory in the Depths. Upon returning to Wrathion after Victory in the Depths, he upgrades your twin daggers to the Sleeper and the Dreamer. With only 2 more quests to go, you are once more asked to fetch Elementium gem clusters. This time, do not open them, keep them in clusters. You need 60 to complete the quest, which comes down to about 4 runs of the 25-man raid. Once you're done, you will have to take down Deathwing in the quest Patricide. He will drop a fragment of Deathwing's jaw, which you return to Wrathion. And with that final piece, Wrathion will infuse your weapons for them to become Golad, Twilight of the Aspects, and Tiriosh, Nightmare of the Ages. Congratulations on your Fangs. There is now a massive gap between Cataclysm and Shadowlands where no permanent legendaries were introduced. Mists of Pandaria and Warlords of Draenor brought with them legendary cloaks and legendary rings, but no weapons. Legion brought the class artifact weapons with many awesome appearances and skins. I have a video series for every single class weapon right here, also linked in the description below. Battle for Azeroth only had the legendary cloak Ashrakama's Shroud of Resolve, which you can still obtain today. And that brings us to Shadowlands and Sylvanas' bow, Rae'shalare, Death's Whisper. Due to the weapon type, which is a bow, this legendary is exclusive to hunters. Obtaining it is very simple. Take down Sylvanas in the Sanctum of Domination raid on any difficulty, and the weapon has a 3% chance to drop. Now, the Shadowlands raids are still a little rough, so you might have to bring a couple of friends for these runs. Especially the fight against Fade Scribe Rokalo absolutely requires several players on higher difficulties during Stage 2 and Stage 3 of the fight, where runes must be moved around before time runs out. Finally, we reach our current expansion, Dragonflight. Dragonflight has introduced 2 legendaries, which both require some questing after an initial item drop. Nasz'uro, the Unbound Legacy, is a one-handed fist weapon exclusive to evokers. The weapon, or more specifically the weapon item called Cracked Titan Gem, drops from Sarkareth in the Aberrus the Shadowed Crucible raid on any difficulty. And Fyr'alath the Dreamrender is a two-handed axe, which can drop for Death Knights, Warriors and Paladins from Feroc in the Emirdrasil the Dream's Hope raid on any difficulty. And that is the end of part 2. Hopefully, these guides made these legendaries feel more accessible to you. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to drop a like or subscribe to the channel. And let me know anytime if there is a particular mount, pet, transmog, or anything else you wish me to make a guide on. Till then, take care of yourselves and each other.